truly free individual is free only to the extent of his own self-mastery. There's a second part to this. Eloquently stated by Socrates just a little while ago. And the concept that we're going to talk about today is your freedom and what you want to have is only at the level of your own self-mastery. So, a couple things. The other day, I'm working with a group of doctors here and there, and one of the things that we continue to talk about is the aspect of elevating your practice, elevating what you do as far as value and how you serve people. 100% comes back to the person at the helm, like the captain of the ship. And oftentimes, people want more, but don't put together a series of self-mastery to be able to handle that which they want. So the old concept of careful what you ask for, you might get it, often shows up when we are driving towards the direction of trying to get something that we want. And oftentimes we'll go the direction trying to get something that we want or go a direction that we want to be without introspection and looking at it. And so within the chiropractic profession, oftentimes what happens is people want to help quite dramatically. They're just like, I want to see some more people. We can definitely do it, but they don't have the systems in place. They don't have the staff in place. Their body can't physically handle it mentally. The capacity to entertain the stress is just not there. And so what happens is that they run a promotion and start to get people to respond, and these people come in and have a lackluster experience. Or have an experience that's just like, well, maybe it seems too chaotic. And the patients that come in the office don't quite often say that. They can't put their finger on it, but they put their feet on it. They walk out the door, often never to come back. And so when we're talking about a business, this is not good. And these chiropractors are often frustrated at this aspect of life. And 100% of the time, it comes back to how do you expand in business? How do you expand in anything? Well, it comes back to you. I had a conversation with a patient the other day. And she'll know. This is her, but we won't use names. But her statement after a series of questions and a series of statements, her statement was, so everything comes back to me. Like I want to change, or I need to be able to do this. And 100% it always comes back to me. The truly free individual is free only to the extent of his self-mastery. Like you want more in life. You want more in business. If you're an entrepreneur, where do you start? We start with pouring into your family. You start with you physically. You start with you spiritually. You start with you 100% and starting to elevate your weaknesses. And in this individual's case, it was the capacity to be able to deal with certain things. And there was priorities, like these are family members. I need to 100% be able to be there and pour into these people. And then I got all these other things. And so we make a priority list. We make a priority list and say, okay, here's my top. These are like vital. If I don't do this, relationships burn down. If I don't do this, I lose people. If I don't do this, and then way over here we got the, if I don't do this, I mean, it's like I can put that off till next week. Or it's not like a fire. These are not fires. These are not 911 or emergencies. So then we take care of our core of what is necessary so that I may be able to work on these things and expand a little bit. Now, business owners, if you're listening to this, you know 100% of the time, if you have a fight with your significant other, you're going to work not feeling good. It impacts business, does it not? And a lot of you are doing the same thing in other aspects. If you're not a business owner and you have a fight, you go to work and it's like, brr, you just kind of take it out on everybody else. I mean, it just infatuates you throughout the day. I mean, it's just everything, every choice, every decision, every movement. You're just like, you're just dragging that with you. And that is the concept, that in order to have the freedom that you want, you must master yourself. The second part of this, if I may read this to you, the second part of this, let me pull it up for you. Is the aspect that those who will not govern themselves are condemned to find masters to govern over them. Read that again. Well, those who will not govern themselves, so you're not willing to actually step in and work on self-mastery, you'll find somebody to govern over your life. Ouch. This is why oftentimes people get in relationships, and you can see this, and you've seen this in either your own relationships or other people. You're like, why do those two get along? Well, you got one person that's not willing to master themselves, not willing to work on themselves, and somebody else that is willing to reign over them. Arguably not healthy. So you're either mastering yourself or allowing somebody else to do it. I've said this quite often. The abuse that you're willing to take, whether it's physical or mental from other people, is often an equivalent of the abuse that you're willing to do to yourself. Yeah, that's right. When you wake up in the mirror, wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, and then you're just grabbing parts of your body, going, "Oh, I hate that." You're only going to tolerate somebody else doing to you what you're willing to do to yourself. And so to elevate this game, you elevate your life value. And this is part of mastery. And as the chiropractor goes, the chiropractor that is 100% pouring into himself physically, his body is on point. Physically, he's able to tolerate the stresses on him or her physically. He can make the changes in this business. It requires some long hours sometimes. Not necessarily at the office, but it requires long hours. Outside of this, mental capacity has to be there. And the chiropractor, again, that is able to thrive on these types of things, any business owner that is able to thrive is mastering his mind, mastering his body, he's mastering his relationships, he's mastering his spirituality, his purpose. And so the tip and the trick for you today is 100% to look at where you need to master. You want changes. I don't care what it is. If it's in your bank account, if it's in a relationship, if it's in your body, you must first be able to master these things. Get back to some of the basics, simplicity at its highest, and begin to master yourself for expansion. So, step one for you today is to look at where you may be being governed by somebody else. That you need to step out of that and work on your own. You ever heard the concept, you are your own guru? Even the fact that you're sitting here listening to this, and it is a fact of you letting me govern your day for a period of time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Now, that only happens if you're not willing to get pen to paper and make a change. Write something down and say, hey, I'm asking these questions and I want to make a change. Otherwise, you'll show up again and again and we'll continue to govern your life with words from me, which is good. It's helpful. But you got to make a change. You got to make some movement on this. So the tip and the trick today is recognize where you need to master different aspects of your life so that you may expand and have more. Now you say, well, does more make everything else I have not good? No, it's just human nature. It is human nature to be able to expand, to want to expand. It's just our movement because healthy things will continue to grow. This is why healthy things continue to move. When they stop moving, they stop, in the body, they grow and not in a good way. But literally, to be able to make a change, you got to sit down and take what I am saying, take what you are hearing, more importantly, and put it to work. You want change in a certain area of your life, start mastering other areas. And again, for me, I can't physically do what I need to do on a daily basis unless my body is on point. Literally, if my body is not on point, I falter and I cannot deliver the service that I do on a daily basis. So you think that's important that I master my body? Yeah, I'm not always perfect at it. I fall in love with like a cheeseburger every once in a while. It was good. Fall in lust because it's gone. But the concept for you today is to truly free yourself at the level that you want by going after self-mastery. Is it in your body that you need to master? Is it in your spirituality, your purpose? Is it in your workplace, your business? Is it in a relationship of a loved one close to you? You ever have that good conversation with a loved one or so engaged that you jet off to work and it's absolutely incredible? See, the concept is you go searching for expansion, oftentimes in work and business. Whereas there's nothing that will accelerate you in business more than mastering some of the other aspects of life. A marriage on fire, you'll see a business on fire. You see healthy, happy kids and an engaged mom or dad, work and business is thriving. You see somebody that is fit and healthy, other aspects of their life are fit and healthy. So for you today is a quick evaluation. Write it down. Where have I not been mastering? Where have I not been mastering something in my life, in across my body, my spirituality, my business, my bank account, my relationships? And then what am I going to do about it? Take one aspect and what can I simply do to be able to master this? I set forth in June to master the push-up. This is what I wanted to do. It was simple for me. Master the push-up. I've made exercise really, really complicated in the past. It's got to be this. It's got to be 2 hours. I got to do all these types of things. Came back to the push-up. 20,000 push-ups by the end of the year. Just looked at about 13,000, averaging 250 push-ups a day. What do you want to master so that you may have and expand in life? That's it. That's the tip and the trick. Bringing you love and light every day. There is so much love and so much light in this concept that a philosopher thousands of years ago, with his beautiful words, was to say, hey, in order for you to be free, you must first master yourself.